Media somewhat proudly presents the John and Gordy Morning Show. The phone lines are already buzzing, but that's just due to a faulty connection the engineers can't track down, so don't let that stop you. Call anyway, 608-879-8255. Now here they are, John Peterson and Gordy Young.
WMDX 92.7 on the rain-swept streets of Madison this morning. John and Gordy looking out through the WMDX window, watching traffic slowly go by.
What traffic? There's no traffic.
No, I just saw some cars go through.
Oh, did you?
You weren't looking.
Okay. Good morning. It's Wednesday,
Yes.
March 5th. It's rainy, and it's been raining most of the night.
Yes.
It's going to rain most of the day, and then it's
is it?
going to change to snow,
Beautiful.
and then it's going to be a messy mix this afternoon. It's going to be terrible. It's horrible already.
Well, I blame Trump for this.
Yeah, I do too.
He promised better weather, and this is not happening.
Well, he fired all the a lot of the people from the NOAA.
From NOAA. So
National
NOAA's
Weather
getting
Service.
back at us. The people that still remain there, they're going to give us rain now. I knew
It's
they had.
revenge.
I knew the Democrats had control of the weather.
Yeah.
Republicans were right about that one.
Yeah. So did you watch the big speech last night, the
I
presidential
watched
address?
part of it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Starting at 8 o'clock seems a little late.
Yeah.
And then, of course, getting there later and then making us wait while he talked to people in the crowd. I thought, okay, I've just about had enough now.
Yeah.
And then he,
And then-
launches into his line of BS. And then the Republicans act like children out on the playground, shouting what they always shout at the rallies. This is Congress. What in God's name is happening? These people are absolutely hopeless. They are the cream of the crop megas, and they are hardcore, and they're never going to oppose this president on anything at all. I am outraged by this. It makes me so angry, so mad. I just can't stand watching this guy. I can't take him anymore.
Johnny get angry, Johnny get mad.
Right out of the box.
Give me the biggest lecture I ever
0 to 80 in 3 seconds there.
That's true.
So say,
That's true.
pace yourself, buddy.
Okay, well, you're right.
Just getting warmed up here, Yeah. We'll
Why?
get into the speech.
Yeah.
But it was something to see somebody stand up and object. Representative Al Green.
Yep.
He had some great hits back in the 70s.
I always thought his hits were pretty good. He had good songs.
Yeah.
Well, are you looking up one of those songs there, Sam?
Tired of Being Alone, I think, is a good one. And there's
What's
a
the other
couple
one?
others.
What's the big hit? Why am I missing? I
don't know.
just heard the song too.
Yeah. All right. Anyway, he stood up and then he got thrown out. I've never seen that before. I don't think that's happened for decades, right?
Okay.
Sam, did you look that up?
Yeah, well, a friend of mine who's probably even more politically involved than me said he thinks that it's the first time that a member of Congress has been thrown out since the Civil War.
Yeah.
Well,
I think it always looks really good.
historic. Yeah.
It always looks really good when you throw out a black man and you have the Republican white men shouting USA at him as they eject him from the floor. The look is just
Not a good look?
good. It's not good.
Not a good look. Yeah. Well, Trump doesn't care.
Beautiful. Well, no, this is their intent.
Yeah.
This is what they're doing.
Yeah.
The whole DEI thing is just, a one way of saying racism, white nationalism. This is just, I don't see any hope in any of this at all. I think we have slipped. We are gone. It's all over. Dictatorship is here.
Just get used to it.
No, don't get used to it. Still oppose it, but just at least understand where we are at this point. Don't sit there thinking, well, it's not a dictatorship yet. We still have a chance. No, it's a dictatorship now. Now you have to do something.
Okay.
All
Well,
right. Well, anyway, I'm
again,
I've been anxiously waiting for the National Day calendar,
Yes.
and then this comes up.
well, first let's get to the weather. 'Cause,
All right.
as we mentioned, it's raining.
Yeah.
Maybe a little bit of street flooding is
think so?
possible. Yeah, there's some ponding going on out there.
Wow.
And a few schools are, at least delaying. But, check your local listings on that.
Well, the WMDX Samsung Watch
Yeah.
weather forecast
Yeah.
predicts a high temperature of 40 degrees today.
And that's where we're at right now. And I'm glad you mentioned that because temperature is going to be sliding through the day.
Oh.
So that's our high temperature this morning. And then a cold front is going to be pushing
That
through. Yeah.
that adds context. Thanks you.
You're welcome. So what would the afternoon low-high temperature be?
I know what that's going to be.
Yeah, do you?
Well, yeah, according to the WMDX Samsung Watch, 22 degrees.
What?
22
Later.
sliding.
Boy, that's even colder than I thought it was going to be, according to the National Weather Service. Mid-30s this afternoon.
All right.
But probably down in the 20s tonight.
Tonight.
But just look for a rain-snow mix. We'll give all of our weather equipment the day off. Since it's in for maintenance, the weather roulette wheel and the lottery ball machine and the one-arm band. What happened to the dice, though? Did we lose the dice?
I'm just not happy with the sound
dice?
of the bird.
You got to tweak that?
Yeah, I've
Okay.
been meaning to do that, and I will bring that in soon.
You know what I think we got to do? I think we just got to build a whole bar in the studio here so that we can play bar dice.
I think that's a great idea.
Yes, a little shouting, a little USA, USA.
All right, let's get to the National Day calendar. It's the 5th day of March already. What is it, or is it not? Is it Ash Wednesday? That's an easy one.
Yeah.
Is it National Absinthe Day? Absinthe? Am I pronouncing it? Absinthe. You can see it.
I can't see it.
Really? Okay.
Is it really that hard of a word to pronounce?
No, I guess not. Is it National Cheese Doodle Day? National Multiple Personality Day? Or National Bicycle Maintenance Day? Which day is it not, John?
You always bring out your own personal gripes,
What do you mean?
National Bicycle Maintenance Day. You're sending a message to Sam to fix your damn bicycle. you always bring your dirty laundry in.
Well, is that your answer?
Yes, that's my answer.
Well, you are correct for a change.
See, I know. You direct
Okay.
these things to Sam, and he has to take this stuff, without walking out.
It is not National Bicycle Maintenance Day, but yeah.
Well, yeah, when are you going to fix this bike?
Well, whenever he's going to bring it to me.
Well,
He's never even shown it to me.
Okay. I'm going to bring it in tomorrow.
All right.
Okay.
Perfect.
It is Ash Wednesday. Okay. And I saw a headline earlier this morning. The Pope is not going to be performing the Ash Wednesday ceremonies.
Yeah, he's in
for the
bad
Catholic
shape. Now he's got
been
pneumonia.
in the hospital for a while. Yeah. But it is National Absinthe Day. Let's check that out.
Yeah, I don't know what that is.
Well, we're about to find out. Often mistaken for a liqueur. Will you stop putting your headphones next to the microphone, please?
All right.
Yeah, just destroy it
Go to
instead.
move the microphone and it falls right off the stand.
God. All right.
Blessed. Okay. Often mistaken for a liqueur, it is truly a spirit because it isn't sweetening. We're talking about absinthe. It belongs to the vodka, gins, and whiskeys when categorizing what it is. The spirit is made from an infusing wormwood, fennel, anise, and other herbs into alcohol through distillation. Pierre Ordinaire, a French doctor. My name is Pierre Ordinaire. He's credited with
Pierre Ordinary.
Yeah, really. What's that saying? He developed and prescribed the elixir in the early 19th century as a cure for many illnesses. It has a strong licorice flavor.
No
Boy,
kidding.
this sounds like, yeah, I've had it once or twice, and that was plenty.
Yeah.
Has a high alcohol content. I don't know. Is anybody into this? The spirit is often served with ice, a sugar cube placed on a slotted spoon over the glass. A slotted spoon?
Wow.
Where do you get those?
Uh,
Water poured over the sugar.
they call that a fork, I think, isn't it?
It's also, absinthe is also known as the Green Fairy, the Green Goddess, or the Green Lady. The drink was popular with artists and writers back in the old days. Okay, that's plenty on that. I don't care.
It's nice that we left that behind.
Okay, it's
You,
national.
you guys don't like it, neither of you?
No.
Licorice, nothing.
Oh,
God.
I,
Yeah,
I
I
like
agree.
licorice.
I
I
hate
tried
licorice.
absinthe for New Year's this year.
Did you?
Yeah, it was very licoricey, but I like that flavor. It was also very strong.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
it is.
It's National Cheese Doodle Day. It marks the annual celebration where fingers turn a cheesy orange as we snack on these flavorful treats. Boy, I can't think of anything more disgusting than cheese doodles. But
Have you had
Are you
the?
into it?
Do you know about the edible packing peanuts? Are you familiar?
Yes, yeah.
what?
I used to freak people out when they came out with them initially.
Right,
You
right.
sit there and you take one out of a package and you freak
They're-
somebody out there.
They're
that's
made out of
watching you.
cornstarch.
Yeah.
It's
Oh my
basically a
gosh.
They
Cheeto
just-
or a cheese puff,
They just
but
melt in your
without
mouth.
the cheese flavor. Yeah, they melt in your mouth. So
gosh.
sometimes if I get a package with them, I'll just have a couple.
Okay.
Wow.
The actual inventor of cheese doodles is under debate. Boy, that's a. I know it's an
It
eye-opener.
continues to this day.
Generally, the credit goes to a man named Mori Yohei, who made his variety of extruded snack foods in the 1940s for his family's company called the Old London Foods. Other sources show patents for similar products in the 1930s and still others competing accounts in Wisconsin and New Orleans. May have been made in
Wow.
Wisconsin.
We got cheated out of that.
Cheese doodles.
Cheese
Okay.
doodles, in other words, cheese puffs.
Yeah,
Right.
right. It's also Multiple Personality Day. Okay. It says here it has two separate approaches to recognizing this day. First strategy. Okay, we don't have time
You
to
talk
talk
to one
about this.
person, then you talk to the other person later
Exactly.
on.
That's it. All right. We'll maybe delve into this a little bit more and then get the history book opened up and check out
Here it
birthdays.
is. Al Green.
18 minutes past the hour. It's John and Gordy in the morning on WMDX Madison. Yeah, great song.
that it would be untrue. You know that I would be a liar if I was to say to you, girl, we couldn't get much higher. Come on, baby, light my fire.
WMDX 92.7. John and Gordy in the morning.
Happy Wednesday. A little bit later on, Mike McCabe will join us to talk about his Red, White, and Blue blog
Yeah.
on Substack. And,
Got a few questions about that.
yeah, me too. So we were, I think we're wrapping up the National Day calendar.
Yes.
Let's move on. because-
Did we wrap it up?
Well,
I think we did.
unless you want to discuss National Multiple Personality Day.
No.
I think we... I think all
never-
three of us may have those kind of issues and may start a fight
You never know who
between
you're
some
talking
of our
to.
some of our personalities. So let's. What are you going to do? You going to dust off the history book, or are you going to
Wait,
open
no,
up the
he was
computer?
Gonna, he was going to get on the.
Yeah, we're getting on the digital version. I told
digital
you
version.
that I
Yeah.
got a little cough from doing all that soldering yesterday.
That's right.
Oh, that's right. You were dealing with lead, right? Lead
You were
solder.
Soldering?
Yeah,
really?
so I was soldering on another radio yesterday quite a bit, and maybe that's why I'm feeling so tired and disoriented this morning.
You shouldn't
Inhaling.
inhale lead fumes.
Yeah.
Jeez.
But anyway, let's dial up the history book.
There you go.
How's the connection?
It sounds good. It sounds
It's
really
pretty fast. We got a whole 56K.
Okay,
Pretty neat.
that's good.
Let's go the most recent history I got here first because I played the Doors coming in.
Okay.
On this day in 1969, Jim Morrison, frontman of the Doors, was charged with profanity, drunkenness, indecent exposure, and lewd and lascivious behavior.
Lascivious, you mean?
Lascivious. This is another word where I've read it, but yeah, there we go. Yeah.
All right. And
Where I've read it, but I've never pronounced it.
That was in Florida, right?
In
Yeah.
Florida, yes. Because a couple days prior at a show that they were playing, he was extremely drunk and supposedly he tried to expose himself on the stage.
Well, but nobody ever saw anything.
Exactly.
Apparently,
Nobody saw
There
it.
was no witnesses that would. Yeah,
I was
they
gonna-
don't. They
I
don't
was
think
gonna-
he actually did it.
I was
mean,
going to say, people were so unimpressed. No one ever talked about anything they saw.
Yeah, he was so drunk that he couldn't even sing. He was just kind of mumbling the whole time and wandering around the stage.
Yeah, that's the way it was with Jim Morrison
I
toward
did
the
see
end.
something.
Yeah.
He because he did go to trial for this. He could have made a plea deal where the Doors would play a free concert in Florida.
Really?
He elected not to take that and instead got jail time and a fine. But he never got to serve that time because he passed away shortly after that.
Yeah, in France.
Yes,
Yeah.
Paris.
Okay.
Bathtub.
Yeah.
Going back a little further in history. Yeah. What, you got more on that, John?
Yeah, he was in a.
He was
Yeah,
in a bathtub.
Yeah, you're right.
Okay.
Anyway.
Moving on.
these are those traumatic times we had to go through when we were younger.
Yeah. Okay.
Today in 1770, it's the anniversary of the Boston Massacre. British troops, then I guess British colonists, they weren't Americans yet, killed 5 people in Boston.
All right. Next.
Nothing else on
Well,
that?
I don't
mean,
have
guess,
anything on
everyone-
Boston
everyone-
Massacre.
Everyone
I
knows
wasn't-
about it.
Well,
Everyone knows.
I lived
I-
in Boston for a while. It was a great
yeah?
city. Yeah. Wonderful
there-
city.
You went
It
to
was-
broadcast school there, didn't you?
I did. Graham Junior College.
Oh, there you go. Sure.
You know who else went there?
No.
Andy Kaufman.
Oh.
He was a couple of years ahead of me.
Oh, that's too bad.
I know.
Wouldn't have been
Didn't
great friends of Andy.
Didn't know him. Yeah. Didn't see him there.
Yeah.
Anyway.
You know the name Westinghouse?
Sure.
Sure.
Like
Yes.
Westinghouse Appliances?
Yeah. And they used to have a broadcast company as well.
Really?
Yeah.
Didn't know that. Well, Westinghouse, he made his name on this day in 1872 when he patented air brakes for trains. Can you imagine if trains didn't have air brakes?
Yes. Not a good thing.
What you did before that is you'd literally have a guy on each rail car, or sometimes less than that, running between rail cars and literally screwing the brakes on. And so it would take forever
Wow.
to stop a train.
That was not convenient, obviously.
time-consuming.
No. But it was funny, back then these large corporations, in order to get their advertising out, started their own media companies.
That's true.
Like Sears in Chicago started up WLS.
That's true. Yeah. And Westinghouse had a syndicated broadcast company with a number of outlets, some of the Northeast cities.
What if Civic Media did the opposite and we start getting into merchandise and goods and products?
Appliances?
Yeah, it's a great idea, I think.
Okay, let's work on that. We'll workshop that.
We got some Cold War history. Today in 1946. What? Oh, no.
Good. Go ahead.
Today in 1946, the term the Iron Curtain was coined by Winston Churchill in a speech.
Oh, I didn't know he made up that phrase.
Yeah, didn't either.
And then
See,
also,
you learn something new every day.
I thought there was a physical
That's why
iron
we do
curtain
today
in
in
it.
history.
You thought what?
I thought there was a physical iron curtain someplace.
Yeah, it's a big wall.
See?
It's like tinfoil, right?
Right, exactly.
Today,
It was like a beaded curtain that we had later on in the 60s.
Right. Okay.
today also marks the anniversary of the death of Joseph Stalin in 1953.
Okay. And that's anything else in the history books, or is that it?
Well, that's
Birthdays?
about it.
Got any birthdays?
Happened on this day as if you care.
I couldn't find any important birthdays today. If it's your birthday, well, happy birthday.
Yeah. Okay. Phone lines are open, 608-879-8255. You can also reach us with the Civic Media app. It's free to download. You can get on the app and then just hit the text button or the call button and get right in. Okay?
I'm thinking that after watching the speech last night, the takeaway I had was the phrase, never seen anything like it before. He said that so many times last night.
That's the phrase that he leans
You've
on a
never
lot.
seen anything like that before.
Right. Yeah, he says that
Wow.
quite a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, we'll get into more of what the speech was all about.
Don't get me me
No?
started.
You don't want to talk about it?
Don't get me
Your
started.
blood pressure's already going up again.
That's right.
We're getting texts in
I don't
already.
know what Matt's talking about. We haven't talked about Bernie's response.
Well, we'll check into that.
Well, maybe Matt watched the speech and watched Bernie's response.
Okay.
Was there? Okay.
We'll
I thought there was
discuss.
another response. We were watching it this morning on CNN.
We'll get into that after the Midwest Farm Report, which
Yes.
is next here on WMDX. John and Gordy in the morning.
Set the night on fire. China set the night on fire. China set the night on fire. China set the night on fire.
As the 21st century began, human evolution was at a turning point, a dumbing down, until humanity was incapable of solving even its most basic problems.
Now listen, Grapehead. I'll explain it so even you can understand it.
We can duck and cover. There's a fallout shelter right there.
There's no way to survive this, you idiot!
Idiocracy.
For the smartest guy in the world, you're pretty dumb sometimes.
WMDX, John and Gordy in the morning. It's a rain-swept day today so far, and it's going to get worse.
It is. Temperatures are going to drop from a high this morning of 40 degrees down into the 30s this afternoon, then the 20s. The rain's going to change to snow. It's going to be a messy mix. It's going to be awful by later this afternoon, so, watch out. The Verlo Mismatch sale is back. That's right. It's their biggest sale of the year. Mismatch on the outside, the same Verlo long-lasting craftsmanship on the inside. Hurry in now and save an additional 10% off every mattress and box spring. Go to their east side location or west side location. Wake up, sleep better. Verlo.com.
Sounds like a great idea.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you put sheets over it, you don't really see the mismatched
That's right.
box spring or mattress or whatever.
Exactly, and you can save all kinds of money.
If only my dad knew about Verlo's mismatch sale when he was in college. When he was in college, he had a mattress and milk crates. That was his box spring.
Milk crates.
Milk crates, yeah.
That's a creative idea.
Apparently, they didn't have too many sales back then.
Someday soon, we're going to get Maddie the mattress in here from Verlo. We're still talking to their.
That's right.
Still talking to their person.
We're going to have to get closed caption for that, though, I think.
Yeah. Hey, let's go to the phones.
We have Maddie on the line right now from Middleton.
Yeah.
Hey, Matt, how's it going?
Hey, guys. I'm not Maddie the mattress, but I'm Matt.
Okay.
So I wanted to give you the short version of Bernie's response last night. It was basically all the good stuff America needs. But most of all, Bernie has the anger and the passion that we need. I'm tired of Hakeem Jeffries and these low-tone Democrats just kind of speaking like we're in a normal moment, which we're not. And I think Bernie would have won in 2016 as well. I don't know what you guys think.
No, I'm with you on that, Matt, because Hakeem is great at speaking, but he's very low key. He's very monotone. There's no energy in it. It just bothers the hell out of me. This is a very
it's part of the normalization, I think.
Yeah, it's a panicky moment for all of us, and we don't need people to speak slowly.
And what do you think about Democrats speaking like pro wrestlers like Trump? Like, don't be afraid to say stupid stuff as long as you're angry and active about it.
We should be the macho man party of of politics.
Of universal health care.
There you go.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah.
All right, Matt. Thank you for that call.
Yeah, thanks for clearing that up.
Appreciate it. I did see Governor Tim Walz on CNN yesterday, and he was fired up. He was really. It was kind of a presidential address interview with him, and I'll tell you, he had some passion behind what he had to say. Might have to find a clip from him.
It's so great having him come back like that. That's my other biggest complaint about the Democrats is that they run, they do this. They had a great campaign, Kamala and Tim. They had a great campaign, and then they just dropped out of sight. They disappeared. I don't know why the Democrats think that's the thing we need to do. We must learn a lesson. The other party is going for all the brass rings.
Yeah.
Let's do the same thing.
Keep fighting.
Let's have that intensity and not disappear. Kamala could have kept on going. She could be out there criticizing all of this. She could be out there in front campaigning again, or Tim Walz, or in this case, I think Governor Pritzker he's running for president.
Yeah, he
as
is.
far as I could see.
Yeah, there's no question about it. Yeah,
out in Illinois,
right?
So I think I think we got to get that passion out there and keep running. We can't stop. Trump has never stopped running. He's always had rallies, no matter what. let's do the same thing. It's a different time. It's a different age. We've got to get out there and do it.
And the Democrats have kind of just taken this stance like, well, again, wait and see.
Yeah.
Just, this thing is all going to implode on itself. I don't think so. I think we're going to be out there fighting every single day. Getting some more texts in here. Mark from Prairie du Sac. It is normal, a young Frankenstein normal. Abby, I don't know what's he referring to there, John.
Abby normal. Abnormal.
Oh, Abby normal. Okay. All right. Thank you, Mark, for
all
that
right.
text.
This is Idiocracy.
Okay, where to start?
Yeah, I know where. We're going to start here. Jesse Waters on Fox News.
Yeah.
What can you say about Jesse Waters?
Yeah.
He has he made an amazing comment a few days ago, and he knows what's wrong with Democrats.
Does he?
Yep. Who are trying to be very popular. So he has pointed this out. He's helping the Democrats, by the way, with this advice.
Okay.
So let's listen to Jesse Waters' suggestions here.
Okay.
You're trying to impress people that no one cares about. And that's what's wrong with the Democrats. They're always trying to be popular with the wrong crowd, like foreign nations, like the media, like college professors or women. And they always end up sounding like these effeminate snobs who hate America.
So we're trying to be popular with women. God. He's got a problem.
Yeah, he does.
He's trying to work through it, and he brings it out on his program like that. He's really working really hard to be accepted by women, apparently. Oh, my God. Yeah, so that's our problem. You know, it didn't seem like a bad list to me.
No.
And they always do this, you know, the Democrats, they're always, out there pushing universal health care and education and public education.
Yeah, Medicare,
all those horrible bad things that
social programs.
we like to associate ourselves with.
Right. All the things that Trump is cutting away from the government.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I guess we should just give up and really cut the government, get it out of the way, and just live our lives like cavemen. All right, now let's move on to Russia. All right, Russia.
Yeah.
So it appears as though Trump, and we think that he's kind of a Russian stooge as president, right? Russia likes what he's doing. No kidding. No kidding.
Yeah. They're all behind it.
Yeah. So here's a cut where they're interpreting what Russian TV is saying to us. Check this out. This is great stuff.
You know what? Putin must be quaking. Let's get this is the actual Russian state television view on Russia's fearfulness.
The new administration is rapidly changing all foreign policy configurations. This largely coincides with our vision.
America said, do whatever you want. It has nothing to do with us. It's such a pleasure to watch.
Basically, he is taking our bread and butter. We wanted to saw the Western world into pieces, but he decided to saw through it himself.
Not only are the Russians not fearful, they're f***ing delighted.
Yeah. Yeah, that's something else. It is crazy.
Yeah. They're very happy now.
Yeah. If you could find cut 176, I'm going to play this because I have this thing. Glenn Greenwald used to be a great reporter, and suddenly he turned into this crazy man that can't seem to agree with anybody anymore, and he always seems to know more than most other people, right?
Glenn Greenwald?
Yeah, he's a reporter. And he is a Putin appeaser, if anything. And he lost a debate with a guy I don't have a lot of admiration for, Dan Crenshaw. He's a vet and a Republican. Mm-hmm. And they had it out on this TV show, and it's just fascinating stuff with Piers Morgan. Dan Crenshaw just laid into Glenn Greenwald, and I just love it. Now, if you're anti-Glenn Greenwald, you're going to love this because he's just nuts. We had so much respect for him at one time, so much, and then he just blew it. Let's listen to this debate. This is fantastic stuff. And again, Dan Crenshaw is crazy too. He's the Republican with the eye patch.
Oh, okay.
All right. So anyway, he's tearing into Greenwald. Listen to this.
They're being forcibly dragged in there and used as cannon fodder, or they're fleeing and risking their lives to do it. The reality is Russia is winning the war or has won the war. And you can say, oh, you must be a Kremlin agent to say that.
Well, you just got to know nothing about military information or tactics. That's what you have to do to say that. You just have to know nothing. So
the idea that
is clearly what you do.
Yeah, well,
you've got so many facts wrong. It's hard to know where to even start.
You can. You think Ukraine is winning the war? In which direction is the front line moved, Dan? Has it moved westward or eastward?
It depends on where you're looking at. It depends on where you're looking at. I hate to break it to you, but it depends on where you're looking at. And the ratios of Russian deaths to Ukrainian deaths is like 4-1. You just don't know what you're talking about. You've never fought anything. You don't know anything about the military.
I fought a lot of things. I fought a lot of things.
Oh, you fought a lot of things?
Just because you were in the military.
Okay.
I like the shots fired sound effect in there.
Yeah. Yeah.
Very nice.
But is that where the cut ended, actually?
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
That was strange. All right. But anyway, yeah, you can see Glenn Greenwald struggling. Yeah, I fought a lot of things. Yeah, sure. But you got to like what he had to say right there, right?
Mm-hmm.
I just love it. All right. Marjorie Taylor Greene, her boyfriend spoke up in the Oval Office the other day asking Zelensky why he didn't wear a suit. Really hard-hitting stuff that I'm sure he brings to a show on The Voice of America.
Why was he even there?
I don't know.
Yeah.
Obviously a favor for Marjorie. Anyway, could you cut 177? Now this, again, Republicans always list the horrible things that Democrats stand for and support. And this is another one of those things. Marjorie doesn't like universal health care. So
not a fan.
Let's listen to this. It's weird.
Of other healthcare companies pull their staff off of the websites because they're scared. Where do you think this violence is coming from? And do you think it's just going to get exacerbated as we continue into the Trump era with some of these people?
I'm glad you asked that question. And I've been watching this unfold, and I believe it's the beginning of a political movement. But there should never be a time where people are cheering on the death of an innocent man, a murder that happened on video that we've all seen unfold over and over again on the news. And this is someone that was clearly mentally unstable and went and killed a CEO for whatever his reasons are, and supposedly as a manifesto. But what I'm more concerned about is we've seen the left push for socialized medicine for years. Bernie Sanders had Medicare for all. I hope this doesn't turn into where they take this guy they're praising, right? And make him some sort of hero that they all worship, and then pick up the mantra and move it and go after other people.
That's right. We might start assassinating CEOs of health insurance companies to bring about a change and bring about universal health care. That sounds, what a great plan. Thank you, Marjorie.
Yeah.
That is lunacy, absolute lunacy.
Awful. Yeah.
But again, it's the Democrats. It's their sneaky plan to bring about universal health care so we don't have to go through Medicaid. We don't have to go through these debates about stripping Medicaid from poor people or forcing them to work to get Medicaid, health care of some sort, dangling it. It's not a right.
No,
it's a privilege.
Yeah.
As Republican Ron Johnson has said so many times.
They're just going to keep chopping at it. Trump is going to go after Medicaid, Medicare, Social Security. They're just going to keep going after it.
I mean, if
you try to protect it.
If you think what they're doing now is bad, when they go after health care, and these are the next few things to come up, it is going to be, well, I'm hoping that the American public suddenly wakes up to all of this and starts protesting like they need to protest. Of course, they're going to start locking up protesters. You can't protest in this country anymore. A lot of people don't know that, but
on college campuses, there was something about that yesterday.
Yes.
Yeah, if you protest illegally, they want to throw you out of the campus, throw you out of the
and the word
university.
is illegally.
Illegally, yes.
Just protesting just protesting is going to be illegal to them, their impression of what's illegal.
Yeah.
And they're going to lock everybody up and kick them out of college and take funding away from those colleges.
And on it goes. 6:49, coming back with more of John and Gordy in the morning. WMDX.
Come on and swing, swing, swing it. Baby, come do your thing. You know you look so right. Of the world as we know it. It's the end of the world as we know it. It's the end of the world as we know
It's the end
it.
of our country as we know it. WMDX 92.7. John and Gordy in the morning, broadcasting from the capital city, Madison.
6:51. Phone lines are open. 608-879-8255. That's 879-TALK. This portion of the program being brought to you by David J. Frank, your turnkey, one-stop landscaping resource. They are celebrating 65 years being in business in southern Wisconsin with branch offices in Madison, Milwaukee, and Kenosha. They do it all: lawn care, flower care, trimming, shaping, pruning. You know, spring is right around the corner. They do residential and commercial. You've seen their work at the Capitol, also on campus at the UW, and over around Hilldale. There are a lot of examples of their fine work. Check out their website, davidjfrank.com, davidjfrank.com. John?
And we have a text here. There are millions of people one diagnosis away from becoming the next Luigi.
Oh.
Yeah. Now let's get into this. This is a big one. Commerce Secretary Howard Lutnick claims tariffs don't cause inflation. Now, CNBC asked Lutnick about tariff inflation, and Lutnick created a soundbite we'll be playing for the next 2 years dealing with inflation. This is cut 53 here.
I mean, how much pain are we going to be willing to take in inflation if all of a sudden they hit us right back?
Remember, so you made one comment. So inflation comes from a government printing more money. Some prices
You don't
can
think it
rise.
can come from
This
tariffs?
bottle of water.
It can't happen at all
No,
from tariffs?
tariffs do not create inflation.
Okay.
Printing money creates inflation. You have a balanced budget. There can't be inflation. It doesn't mean one product could be more expensive and one product could be less expensive. Everything gets tariffed in China, and they don't have inflation. In fact, they have deflation. So this concept is just people whining and complaining and not being truthful.
Yeah. Whining and complaining about high prices. How how could we do that? You know, those Democrats whining and complaining about high prices. Gee, we didn't just go through an entire election with the Republicans, the MAGAs complaining about high prices, did we? No, we never did. And his insistence that it doesn't create inflation is lunacy, absolute craziness. And I'm going to be playing this cut. I'm going to put it on hold here. We'll have it ready and waiting. Okay.
All right.
All right. Representative Mark Elford and Mark Wayne Mullen, the two first names. Anyway, they believe their constituents would like paying higher prices.
Oh,
because,
really?
Yes, because of Trump's trade war. It'll stop other countries from taking advantage of us. Now, this is the, the aggrieved, where we're going to get back at them. So that kind of appeals to the mega mindset. So maybe with these high prices, they'll let it go. They won't get up in arms. They won't get out the pitchforks and torches, but they should. Let's listen to this. It's cut 50.
And if I have to pay a little bit more for something, I'm all for it to get America right again, to start whittling down this $36.5 billion or trillion dollars worth of debt that we have that's unsustainable.
Do you think that a lot of your constituents feel the same way? They're willing to pay a little bit more?
Well, I think so. I mean, look, we have lived under the oppression of Joe Biden's hyperinflation for some years.
Am I worried that it could impact us? Of course. As American people ready to get the country back on track and do what it needs to, or do what it takes to make that happen, absolutely. We're going to have to adjust some prices for it. But the president is tired of people taking advantage of our country.
And my goal is that these tariffs don't end up with higher prices.
Oh, yes. And that's what they've been saying. They've been building up to this, the high prices. And we should be doing it. It's very patriotic to do. And we're going to get even with all these other countries, and we're going to finally set the world straight.
Yeah, and Trump said last night he's just getting started.
Yes.
With these tariffs.
Oh,
just
yeah.
getting warmed up. There's more to come. And
A
the
lot
Dow Jones over the last 2 days, 2 days total, has dropped 1,200 points.
Yeah,
over
that's right.
2 days.
I already feel like we're back in World War II rationing food, because I used to eat eggs all the time, just about every day for breakfast.
Right.
And now I'm starting to have to eat cereal every day because I can't afford to buy the eggs.
Yeah.
It's like I'm rationing it all over again.
Good prices
Get
at
used to
Costco for eggs.
Yeah.
A dozen and a half eggs, great price, about $5.50 or so.
All
so you
right.
might want to check that out.
You are Mr. Costco.
Ontario Premier Doug Ford, I lived there, has canceled Elon Musk's Starlight contract with Canada. And he had other things to say. Let's go to cut 44 real quick here. All right?
Once.
Also, starting today, all U.S.-based companies will be banned from taking part in government procurement. Every year, the province and its agencies spend about $30 billion on procurement, alongside our more than $200 billion plan to build infrastructure. U.S.-based businesses will now lose out on tens of billions of dollars in revenues. They only have President Trump to blame. I'm also urging all 444 municipalities to do the same, and I'm thrilled to see some are already stepping up. For example, Mayor Patrick Brown in the city of Brampton and many other cities. As part of this government-wide procurement ban, we're going one step further. We're ripping up Ontario's contract with Starlink. It's done. It's gone. We won't award contracts to people who enable and encourage economic attacks on our province and our country.
That's right.
Alongside federal tariffs and the measures my fellow premiers are bringing forward, this Team Canada's opening response.
That's right. And Doug Ford has also promised to cut off all electricity to the U.S.
Okay.
Which means that the U.S. won't lose the electricity. They'll just pay tremendously higher prices and burn a lot of coal.
Yeah. Coming up right around the corner, we will be checking in with Savannah Tomei Olsen on the big story headlines in Wisconsin and locally here in Madison. News is next. Also, Mike McCabe in our next hour. Stay with us on John and Gordy in the Morning, WMDX.
John and Gordy in the morning, as we were saying. Let the sun shine. It's the John and Gordy Show.
Hi, Savannah.
There we go.
Good
Hello,
morning.
Savannah. Hi.
How's it going?
Oh, well, good. I want to warn you, we went to the coffee room and we didn't hear your newscast, so we we don't know what you talked about in this newscast necessarily. So,
Well, I have something just for John, and that is that they found the woman that attacked the bus driver.
oh, great.
Oh, good.
All right.
They
I was-
did.
I
Turns
needed
out
that.
you're going to have fun with this.
Yeah.
She was mad to learn that the bus was not going where she wanted to go.
Yeah, that's what I had heard.
Yeah, we heard that
No,
rumor.
I didn't hear that.
Is it really just that, or was there like some other
That's
issue going
That's
on?
it now. According to the police arrest record, that's what it says. So
Oh, great.
Now I
Yeah.
wonder how they found her. Do they have cameras on the bus?
Yeah,
Or-
they do.
They
they
do.
do.
Yeah.
Yep. Every
Okay.
bus has a camera.
Huh.
Yep.
Okay.
The other big thing I talked about, and I don't know if you're interested in this or not, because it was for, the whole network, was the potential Medicaid cuts. And so I did a bunch of digging into, how many people in Wisconsin rely on Medicaid. It's 1 in 3 kids, 4 in 7 nursing home residents. And then tonight, the city of Madison is having, the Office of Civil Rights is doing this meeting on like what we could lose if there are Medicaid cuts, which is why I'm airing it today.
Yeah. And that, of course, is part of the House bill that they
Yep.
approved. Yeah.
Yes, it is.
Cool. All right.
And, we're so distracted by everything else that Doge is doing that we're not really talking about the House bill at all. So,
Isn't that the point?
yeah, that is the distraction.
All right.
45 seconds.
Good enough.
Now, when you do that, it makes me nervous.
What?
Good. That's my intention.
Telling me how much time is left. God damn it. I got to
Hey,
check my
watch your
watch
mouth.
here.
I'm going to do a Verlo real quick here.
WMVX
It's the John and Gordy Show.
Do you know what this means?
Wouldn't you like to know, weather boy?
You're pretty high and far out, aren't you? What kind of kicker you on,
I am
son?
high
No
and
good
far.
bastard. Your show sucks.
What made me think this was a good day to stop drinking? Buddy, you want coffee?
I do.
Coffee. Black coffee. Coffee.
They won! That's about people like you!
What a load of crap.
Thank you, sir. May I have another? We'll do it live!
And that's the way it is.
On 92.7 FM, WMDX. Take it away, boys.
Now it's our turn to
Okay,
talk.
now I can start talking.
Yeah.
They just pick up momentum and I just can't stop,
I know it. It's John and Gordy in the morning. He's John Peterson. I'm Gordy Young.
Yes.
Producer Sam is in the hot box, taking your calls, dealing with the dials and switches and buttons. And this portion of John and Gordy in the morning is brought to you by our friends at Verlo Mattress. Sleep better, dream bigger on a handcrafted Verlo mattress. Right now, the Verlo Mismatch sale is back. It's the biggest sale of the year. Mismatch on the outside, same Verlo long-lasting craftsmanship on the inside. Hurry in now, save an additional 10% off of every mattress and box spring. Wake up and sleep better. Verlo of Madison. Go to their website, verlo.com.
All right. Sounds great.
All right. And now it's time for us to check in with Savannah Tomei Olson. Good morning, Savannah.
Good morning. How's it going?
It's
doing
going
all right.
good.
It's
going
wet out there this morning.
It
Yeah.
really is. And, the big mystery for me is, the bus crash into a restaurant. It's.
Yeah, this happened, about a
It
week
wasn't
ago?
takeout. Yeah.
It was last Tuesday night, and they were over on Stoughton Road on like the northeast side. And they ran into that Asian House restaurant. 2 people were hurt, and one of them had to go to the hospital. So you see these pictures. That was nothing you could refer to as a minor crash, right?
Oh,
Right. Yeah.
And at the time, the police had said that a passenger attacked the driver, and the driver lost control, and that's what caused that whole crash. But the passenger had run off. Well, turns out They found that passenger.
They did.
All Metro buses have cameras, just FYI, for anybody who didn't know that before. So it turns out this 26-year-old woman was upset that the bus wasn't going where she thought it was going. And
well,
first time she took a bus, doesn't exactly drop you off where you want to go.
Yeah. She could have said, well, where should I go?
Yeah.
And, how can I get transferred? Yeah. But she
So
took
many
it into
other
her own hands. Yeah.
Yeah. So now she's charged with disorderly conduct, battery to a public transit officer, and recklessly endangering safety. Those are not small charges, I would say.
No. And I think they're going to keep the bus there and put seating in there.
No.
like old train cars.
No, they're not doing. And the restaurant was closed at the time.
Yeah.
Thankfully, so nobody was
thank
hurt.
goodness, right? There was nobody
that's
sitting inside, so the people who were hurt were the people on the bus.
Mm-hmm.
All right,
But
now
they're
I
okay.
guess the state now is taking a look at the Medicaid cuts or possible cuts and what that might mean to the state, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's right. So that's what I spent a lot of my time on yesterday throughout the day, because when we're talking about such a big federal and state program, so that means half the data is at the state level and the other half is at the federal level. So basically, when the House passed this big spending bill, they want the Office of Energy and Commerce to reduce their budget by $880 billion over the next 9 years. And they say it won't impact Medicaid. That's the official party line that we're getting. However, experts say that that will not be possible without touching Medicaid. So I was looking into just how many people in Wisconsin rely on Medicaid, and it provides coverage for 18% of people here in Wisconsin. That's 1.2 million of us, excuse me. That's 1 in 3 kids and 4 in 7 nursing home residents statewide, which is a huge number, especially when you talk about people in nursing homes, which is an industry that's struggling already across Wisconsin. So that Medicaid reimbursement money that they get is vital to their operations.
Well, it is, and a lot of those nursing homes rely on that, or at least the guarantee of it, in order to allow people to, move into their nursing homes.
Yep,
So
exactly.
that could stop a lot of people from moving, and that's devastating to the families that need to have some place to put their relatives.
Exactly. When that process is already hard enough, you think about there's the practical part of going through that, and then there's the emotional heaviness and weight of all of it and how hard that can be for people. So the Office of Civil Rights here in Madison is hosting a big meeting tonight. They're calling it what we could lose. And the goal is basically to just tell people what's on the table and what could happen if these cuts really go through. It'll be both in person and virtual, so people can attend, have it on in the background from home if that works for you. Access to Independence will be speaking, because a lot of disabled people rely on Medicaid more than the general population. And the goal is to basically just tell people what's on the line and what they could have to be prepared for, or where they could need to ask for more help or lobby their lawmakers.
And where's that meeting taking place? Is it City Council?
It's the Madison Municipal Building. Yep.
Municipal Building.
All right.
Okay.
At 6:00.
Very good.
All right.
All right, Savannah, thank you so much. We appreciate it.
Have a great day, guys.
All right, you too.
All right.
Appreciate it. Boy, I love those in-depth looks at all these issues.
That's
She's great at that.
WMDX News, Savannah Tomei Olson. Okay.
Absolutely.
12 minutes past the hour. Rain this morning, maybe changing to snow this afternoon, dropping temperatures through the day. Take your umbrella with you.
Okay.
Check your windshield wipers. Do it all.
Change those windshield wipers.
Hunker down.
Now,
Okay.
I live in Costco, so
Yes, you
they
do.
do have windshield wipers in there for almost every model.
Do you get a fee or something? Are you on the get a commission for
started
things that
sounding
you're
like
selling?
commercial, didn't it?
It did.
Oh,
It
my
did.
goodness. Well, we got a text from Jim, who just made it over there, and apparently Costco had no eggs on Monday.
Well, thank you for that report, Jim. Let us know what else they don't have.
I think I bought them on Saturdays, so you can blame me, Jim, if
Okay.
you want. And Stephen Mount Horeb texted us, Trump himself is on the way to World War III. He is the one causing instability throughout the world. Like I said before, the people who voted for him better be on the front lines. I'm with you on that, Steve.
You can call us. You can text us, 608-879-8255. Get the Civic Media app downloaded. It's free. You can hit the text button or the call button on that, too.
That's right.
All right.
Well, as I mentioned earlier, Trump is against illegal protests. What that means, there should be a reporter out there that could ask, what do you mean by illegal? And, isn't it a First Amendment right to protest your government?
Peaceful protest.
To associate with the groups you want to associate with, like Antifa, if you wanted to, right? You can. You can wear masks. You can do whatever it is that you want to do, but he doesn't like any of that. Trump threatened college federal funding for allowing illegal protests and said American students will be expelled. Little heavy-handed. Now, what if this had happened in the 60s when we protested the wars? What if they thought of this back then? Wouldn't that be insane?
Yes.
I mean, it would have been worse.
It would have been absolutely worse.
Yeah, they called out the military, National Guard, and
Kent State
started shooting at people and killing them.
4 students died. Yes.
The big word now for this administration is agitator. Now, Scott Walker used to talk about it all the time. Oh, they bust in agitators to be a part of the Act 10 protests. Well, agitator is coming back. Agitators will be imprisoned. In other words, agitators, meaning protesters, will be imprisoned, permanently sent back to their country if they're immigrants as well. American students will be permanently expelled or, depending on the crime of protesting, arrested. And no masks. Thank you for your attention to this matter, he said. So, I don't know why he followed it up with that stupid comment, but he did. He did. And so I want to bring up at this point,
yes,
our favorite representative, Derek Van Orden. Okay?
Oh, Derek. What's he been up to lately?
Because this follows in the footsteps of what Trump just said. Derek Van Orden compared constituents pushing back at these town halls as Nazis. All right. So he's not happy about people protesting. And again, it's those agitators. Let's listen to cut 51 here. This is Derek Van Orden.
Well, it's not just Glenn. They're over disrupting Fitz's meetings, and they did a whole bunch of Republicans around the country. And people have to understand, I'm a little history buff.
No, you weren't.
All people associated with the communist movement and the National Socialism movement used to get their way politically is they would do stuff like this. They were called agitators.
Oh wait.
So this is a time-tested, proven method for very far left and very far right groups to get their way. And when I say very far right, I mean actual National Socialists.
Oh, thank you.
So here's what I told everybody. We've been getting harassing calls. I just got more death threats last week, me personally.
You, of course,
if anybody's coming to any of these meetings that we have, and they act in an unlawful manner by harassing people, or if they're being disruptive, refusing to leave a venue, we will have them arrested and charged with a Class B misdemeanor.
Oh, well, good luck
I'm not
with that.
going to put up with these agitators.
Oh, you aren't.
Throwing disrespect and acting in an unlawful manner to their fellow Wisconsinites or my staff, period.
FAFO.
Yeah.
Well, listen, we're not doing it. Republicans are too nice.
Well, thanks for being nice about it.
Thanks for reminding us.
Okay. It's truly a threat of arrest for anybody protesting.
They're trying to ramp it up here.
They are.
Yeah.
What this means is that they're so used to not having any accountability for their policies or things that they say that when people do protest, they're surprised and shocked, and they're threatening their protesters with jail time, arresting them, giving them a criminal record, just for protesting your government, dumbasses like Derek Van Orden. This guy I don't know why he got reelected. I don't understand what happened. We knew that this guy is a shape-shifting, masculine, toxic masculine idiot.
What do you really mean?
Well, okay.
Speak your piece.
I will stop now.
Okay. It's 7:18. Coming up in about 15 minutes, Mike McCabe will join us talking about red, white, and blue. Stay with us on John and Gordy in the morning.
Come on and take a free
Good morning.
Morning. I had
Hi,
to
Brittany.
I had to tell them to shut up before I turned their mics back on.
We don't want you to hear this discussion.
Oh.
No, it's not.
Oh, man.
Nothing weird.
No, it isn't? Okay. You keep telling yourself that, my friend.
We're discussing inter-office politics.
Yeah.
That's all.
Oh,
Yeah.
yes.
Yep.
Yes.
Yeah. It's
Very
a chess
interesting.
game. It's a chess game every day.
Isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
How are things by you? Are you getting snow yet or anything? Or what's going on?
Finally. Yep.
Yeah?
It just flipped over probably about 30 minutes ago.
Oh,
so.
okay.
See, that's the meteorology
We have-
in me.
it
I
is.
I feel it.
You
I do
do.
it by just
Spidey
feeling
senses.
You still
the
have
body
it.
sense, the atmosphere.
God.
Did it for 20 years. Faked it for 20 years.
You'll never lose it now.
No, you had it. You had it. You know, you just... Okay. 92.7. It's John and Gordy in the morning, clearing our throats, I guess. Nice rainy morning as well. Rain continuing.
21 past the hour. Let's check in with Brittany Merlot, our WMDX weather person. Good morning, Brittany.
Good morning. How are you?
Hi. We're good. We're good.
We've got nothing but rain. It rained overnight. I didn't hear any thunderstorms.
No.
Like they were talking about the possibility of that, but now maybe snow on the way. Do you already have snow? Is that what you got?
Yes. So, yeah, we were looking at rain all throughout the night, too. And now we've got some snow. It's starting to move in towards Stevens Point, the Fox Valley area. And it's headed your way, too. So hang on.
I was trying to hold up the weather radar. Apparently
I love
it's not
it.
picking up on the camera
I
at
think
all.
Brittany has access to the weather radar in her office there. So
It's everywhere. I know.
I know.
But yeah, so what we're really looking at for you in Madison, though, is this light rain, this patchy fog, and it's going to start to switch over to a mix, probably around 10 or 11 o'clock this morning. And then it'll be all snow by 1 o'clock. Now, we're not looking at anything heavy still. I'm still looking at around 1 inch or so. And temperatures crashing, though. We're already the warmest it's going to be right now. We're going to fall to about 30 degrees by 5 o'clock. Plus, we've got a wind advisory starting at 11. And that goes until 9 o'clock tonight, where winds are going to be gusting up to 40 to 50 miles per hour.
What?
It's already happening up north. Yep.
Wow.
This system is a beast. The pressure is just insane. So we're going to see these crazy winds, light snow, and then everything should wind down by 9 o'clock. The snow will stop, the winds will stop, and then the sun will be out tomorrow, and we'll be back in the low 40s.
Oh, okay. So pretty quick moving, but it's going to pack a punch while it's moving. Boy, 40 to 50 mile an hour winds this afternoon and tonight.
Yep.
crazy.
And then if
Now-
you think about it, we've got
Yeah.
this rain that's falling, and it's going to kind of flash freeze as our temperatures fall below 32. And then we've got some snow on top of that, and it's going to be that heavy, wet, slushy type. Then you throw some 40 to 50 mile per hour winds in the mix. Definitely power outages. We're seeing some of those up north already.
Oh, yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I read where Texas has like 500,000 people without power, right?
Their power grid must be
It's
terribly
terrible.
weak. It goes down all the time now.
It's their own power grid.
It needs
yeah,
to be underground.
it really does.
Jeez.
Okay. And looking ahead to the weekend, how are things shaping up for that?
Yeah, so Friday we might see a little bit of light snow swipe early in the morning. We've got this system down to the south that is kind of going up and down, so we might see a little bit of that, but otherwise it's just sunny, gorgeous. I mean, low 40s on Saturday and then the upper 40s on Sunday. So dry
Okay.
and beautiful and mild this weekend.
Look, I
Good
cheated
deal.
a little bit. I looked ahead, during next week. And next
Did
week,
you?
it's going to be gorgeous. It's going to be beautiful. It's like actual spring, right? And we set
You
our
saw
clocks
that, yeah?
ahead this weekend. So, yeah, it's going to be springtime in America.
Fabulous.
We're almost
You can
there.
quote me on
Yeah.
that.
How
Okay.
poetic.
Oh,
Okay.
thank you.
Brittany, thank you so much. Have a great day.
You
Always
too.
great to talk to you.
Yeah.
Talk to you
Thank
tomorrow
you.
morning.
Have a good one.
WMDX meteorologist Brittany Merlot.
All right, we're talking about Derek Van Orden. He doesn't like protesters. He wants to arrest them. Again, he doesn't want to be accountable for anything that the Republicans, the megas, are doing.
He doesn't want those
No.
protesters to stir it up.
Yeah.
They're agitators.
Yeah. And another mega Republican, Dan Muser, says he was at a recent meeting and he's going to keep going to those meetings, even though the National Republican Party wants them to kind of hold off on that. It's bad video. But anyway, here's Muser and what he had to say about the whole thing.
Okay.
Are you going to stop holding in-person town halls?
No, and you know what? I was in the meeting. That's really not what he said. He just said, be careful to manage it. We don't want our town halls being taken hostage and run by those who come in from other parts of the district or other parts of the state and just turn it into a scene of havoc and a problem as opposed to something that's positive. So, but anyway, look.
So you've not heard from any constituents who are upset about Doge?
I have many constituents that have questions about Doge. Probably some that are ask questions that they're opposed to it. But you know what? More that are for it.
Yeah. Okay. Very, very strange comment. But he's not getting the kind of comments that he thinks he's getting. And Doge is getting a lot of pushback at this point because people are realizing that this guy is all smoke and mirrors. He's really not upfront with anybody. He released more information. His wall of receipts is not proving to be true again. It's not a good sign. All right,
No, it's not. And we're checking some texts here. You can call us or text us. Yeah, you
Doug
got one
has
from
one,
Doug?
5 takeaways from Trump's speech. Elon Musk, Doge is terrible at math. All current problems were caused by Biden. But he blamed the high price of eggs on Biden.
Okay.
I find that absolutely fascinating since it's the bird flu, and Biden hasn't been around for 44 days or so, and the price keeps going up and up, and they haven't done anything about the bird flu at all. Nothing. The tariffs will stop once hardworking Americans run out of money. Unelected bureaucrats, except for Elon Musk, the one that stands out most to everybody, will not be allowed to govern. And Iran is dead.
That's all
Thank
from
you,
Doug of St. Francis.
Yeah. Well said.
You can call us or text us, 608-879-8255. It's 879-TALK. Okay? All right. This portion of John and Gordy in the Morning is brought to you by David J. Frank. They are celebrating their 65th anniversary. They do commercial landscape management and also residential. They do it all. They also are experts in sustainability. That makes them the go-to company for green roofs and water conservation and reclamation projects too. DavidJFrank.com. They have 3 offices: Madison, Milwaukee, and Kenosha. Once again, DavidJFrank.com.
They would freak out if they saw my lawn. They would just freak out. Yeah.
Do you need some help?
Oh, boy, do I.
I believe we will have Amy from David J. Frank in next week. Is that correct, Sam? Next Monday?
All right. From Substack.
Okay. Yes.
We've got Mike McCabe stopping by talking about the green side of the blue side of the country, the red side of the country.
Red, white, and blue.
And what you can do for the white side of the country.
Okay, next, it's the Midwest Farm Report, and then we're back with John and Gordy in the morning on WMDX.
Let the sun shine. It's the John and Gordy Show.
This portion of the show is being brought to you by Ed's Old West Exterminators, the only exterminators in town who kill your roaches after giving them guns and allowing the roaches to draw first.
It's a rainy day in Madison, 40 degrees currently, and the rain will change to snow a little bit later on. It is 7:34. We welcome in Mike McCabe. Good morning, Mike.
Good morning.
How you doing?
I'm good, thanks.
So you did not watch the presidential address last night.
That's why I'm in a good mood. I thought to myself, would it help?
Yeah.
And I thought, I know what he's doing.
Yeah.
I know what he's saying. And so would it help?
Yeah.
And I decided, you know what? I'm not going to put myself through that.
Well, there were a lot of visuals instead of messaging. You know what he's going to say, right?
Yeah.
And again, I'm waiting for the time he brings up the boat, the battery, and the shark. It did
Shark?
not come up. I guess it did not come up.
He didn't bring that up last night.
So I'm just waiting for that story to rear its ugly head again. But there were some things about last night to just kind of draw a little bit of attention to. During these speeches, just like when Governor Evers gave the State of the State speech, one side continues to sit. They don't react at all. And the governor ignored that. Biden ignored Republicans who just sat on their hands also during his State of the Union speeches. Well, last night, Trump went after the Democrats who were sitting.
Well, of course he did.
And holding up signs. They actually held up, and they were like, very basic signs. Lie is on one side of it, and the other one has something to say about Elon.
Right.
But the one incident that did take place, and they were wondering about what are the Democrats going to do to protest this? Are they going to bring in sounds, I don't know, like megaphones and disrupt the speech somehow? And one guy did. One representative,
Al Green.
and that's Al Green from Texas, stood up and he was saying something. I don't know what he was saying. I never understand what crowd chants.
Well, you couldn't really hear it, actually.
Yeah. But anyway, he was doing that, warned, and then they bounced him out of the floor. They took him off the floor.
Yeah.
So visually, it's not a good look. You're taking a black representative out of the speech, and it's just a horrible thing that could have happened. They let happen, and they were not ashamed of letting it happen. And while they were taking him out, the Republicans, all of them, were chanting just like at a rally, "USA, USA." It was repugnant. It was outrageous. And that's what happened. That's what you missed, all right? And it's all visual.
I actually saw the picture of him waving a cane.
Yeah, he has a cane.
Yeah.
Yes,
and so I did see that much. But
yeah,
you can't escape the news about this entirely if you are conscious.
True.
Now, your recent Substack, Stars and Stripes, you go by the colors of the flag in this. Could you please describe that, if you can?
Well, I wrote this article for really two reasons. First of all, it speaks to the division in our country and the conscious dividing and conquering of our country by those in power. Our nation's colors are red, white, and blue. And yet we have red America and blue America. We have red states and blue states. We are assigned a color. We're told you're on the red side. You wear the red cap. And we've seen all those red caps out there. Or you're on the blue side. And that's really a way that those in power keep us at each other's throats and have very successfully divided and conquered us so that they can do as they wish, so that they can loot the public treasure for their own benefit. They can enrich themselves. They can exert control over our lives in countless ways because they keep us always divided. They keep us always red or blue.
When did this division start? Was it Reagan?
It's interesting.
Was it Rush Limbaugh?
It's interesting, Gordy. When I was young, of course, I'm dating myself here, but I'm old enough. where the first half of my childhood, we didn't have color television. And,
yeah.
everything was black and white.
That's right.
The first several times I watched The Wizard of Oz, which was this movie that started out in black and white and then all of a sudden goes color and was like this revolutionary thing. The whole thing was black and white to me.
Yes.
For the first several times I watched it.
Right.
And of course on the news, there were no red states or blue states because it was black and white anyway. It was just shades of gray, man.
That's right.
Yeah.
And and I don't recall that even in the Reagan era, people were consciously talking about red America and blue America. It's a really, in the grand scheme of our history, it's a really recent phenomenon. And now it's everywhere.
Yeah.
It's you're red or you're blue.
Well,
and you ain't got a choice, but one of those two. You fit into one of those camps.
There was a blue and gray, as you might remember, during the Civil War.
Right.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah, of course. But then
uniforms.
But then that ended up sort of melting away.
Yes.
After the Civil War, and and here we got these colors, red, white, and blue.
Yeah.
And yet we're told you got to be on the red side or the blue side, and the flag doesn't have any. It doesn't speak to the flag doesn't speak to sides. It's just got all the colors intermingled, and of course, what I said is, hey, maybe people ought to start wearing white caps, and just as a signal of protest, just as a way of saying, there are three colors on that flag, and there's one that's unclaimed. There's one that nobody identifies with. We don't identify with that color on the flag because you have to be forced into one of the boxes, blue or red, and it's such a magnificently powerful tool for those who are part of the ruling regime to create a red and blue America and keep us forever at each other's throats.
Now during our break here, we were talking about this a little bit, and you were talking about symbolism.
Yeah.
And this is part of the symbolic look of the party, the red hats.
Yeah.
They made that a trademark.
Yeah.
The Democrats, as you mentioned, don't have that trademark. They don't have some kind of symbolism in order to bring.
But even more importantly, the American people, many of whom are deeply disillusioned with both parties. Maybe they hate one more than the other, but they're deeply disillusioned with both. They don't have a symbol that is a unifying emblem of their discontent.
All right.
And that's the more important thing. It's not what the Democrats choose as a symbol. It's what the American people choose as a symbol. And, the opponents of the ruling regime are people who are very studious people. They are, and they're down in the weeds a lot, and they wallow in policy detail, and I think they've overlooked the power and importance of symbolism, and I think they've overlooked the fact that politics is way more emotional than it is intellectual, and when you look back through human history, not American history, but human history, there are all these powerful examples of really simple symbols uniting people, sometimes to dramatic effect. Look at Gandhi in India. Under British rule, he's a lawyer, a British trained lawyer. He chooses to no longer wear the clothing that comes from the cloth produced in England, the suits that a lawyer would wear. He decides to spin his own cloth. Wow. The spinning wheel becomes a powerful symbol, as did Gandhi's attire, of the Indian independence movement. It united the Indian people around that symbol. The spinning wheel, for crying out loud, became a powerful weapon that brought the British to their knees and freed India from British colonialism. That was not about policy detail. That was about a simple symbol of defiance that Gandhi used brilliantly to unite the Indian people against their British oppressors. More recently, you had the yellow vest movement in France, where working people donned yellow vests to say we've had it, and it started spreading throughout Europe, the yellow vest movement. And here we've got this flag with red, white, and blue on it, and we're told you either got to be one of the red stripes, or you got to be the blue backdrop to the white stars. You got to be one of those two. You have to be. And for crying out loud, our own national symbol, the flag, has been turned into a tool of division.
Yeah.
And it just strikes me that there's an unclaimed color there that maybe could be a symbol of both the discontent that people are feeling, but also their defiance of the current rule that is leaving them feeling so powerless.
We're talking to Mike McCabe, Substack author. I'm getting the feeling that maybe it all comes down to swag.
The merch.
Yeah.
That's what it's all about.
The merch.
Well, what about Tony Evers calling Wisconsin a purple state? I mean, that didn't really go anywhere. Is it a purple state? I mean, are we
there is
truly
purple,
that
too.
divided?
Well, you do hear that about certain states, and there are only a handful of states that can go one way or the other in a presidential election that could go Republican or could go Democratic. But even think about that. That's still also buying into the red-blue division.
Yeah.
Because, there's a few states like Wisconsin and maybe a half a dozen others that can go either way. So let's call them purple.
Mm-hmm.
But my goodness, that's like giving up on most of the states in the country and saying, well, there's red states and there's blue states, and then there's this pitiful number, a small number of states that, and let's just call them purple because it's a blend of red and blue. But my goodness, even that is sort of a pathetic example of how brainwashed we've become about this whole red-blue division in our society. And that serves those in power so well, because they can keep working class people, common ordinary people who are living their lives trying to make their way in this world, and it keeps them seeing others as enemies rather than people who have things in common with them and are dealing with common struggles. It enables the billionaires to become ever richer. It makes the powerful all the more powerful. And my goodness.
Mike, what do you think about the Democratic Party right now? Sort of this internal struggle going on between those that say, well, we got to fight their fire hose, like Chris Murphy is saying, senator from Connecticut, we got to fight their fire hose with our fire hose 24/7. We just got to come back all the time. Versus the Democrats that are saying, hold on, let's wait in the weeds here a little bit. The Republicans they're gonna collapse of their own weight here. It's all gonna sit back and wait.
I saw a New York Times piece by James Carville, the longtime Democratic operative.
Yeah.
And the headline caught my attention. It said the Democrats have to risk a brave maneuver. So I said, all right, I'm game. I'll look at what he has to say. And what the brave maneuver that he said was that the Democrats have to have the courage to roll over and play dead.
Really?
New York Times piece.
Help us all.
Roll over and play dead. And just let the Republican policies eventually have their impact and people will come to their senses. And I thought, for crying out loud. Now exactly how does roll over and play dead, how is that different than what the Democrats have been doing for the last 40 or 50 years?
Exactly.
Right. Yeah. How very different is that strategy? And so, but I guess I'm less concerned about what Democrats choose to do because they haven't been united in the least. They haven't been courageous. They haven't been bold.
Ain't that the truth?
For a good long time. It's been 40 or 50 years since you really saw bold Democratic leadership. And I think that's what leaves so many people feeling despondent.
Yeah.
Who they hate what they see with the ruling regime, but they're feeling less than confident about a dramatic alternative. And that's what I'm concerned about is will the American people unite around something that can be unifying and empowering.
All right.
We will continue with Mike McCabe on John and Gordy in the morning right here on WMDX. Walk, don't run.
WMDX. This is the John and Gordy Morning Show.
And this portion of our show is brought to you by Verlo Mattress of Madison. Sleep better, dream bigger on handcrafted Verlo mattress. Right now, the mismatch sale is on. It's the biggest sale of the year at Verlo of Madison. Mismatch on the outside, same long-lasting craftsmanship on the inside. Hurry in now, save an additional 10% off of every mattress and box spring. Wake up and sleep better. Verlo of Madison. Just go to verlo.com for more information. John?
Right. Well, we're talking about what the Democrats might be able to do.
Back with Mike McCabe here.
And you brought up the idea of symbolism. And I'm thinking, because, the red hat became a huge symbol for the MAGAs at this point. But the Democrats don't have anything that we can point to or wear or be identified with. And I'm wondering if, and this is just a suggestion. Again, I would make this to Ben Wickler if I could. We'll have him in on the show one of these days. But wouldn't it be great to kind of slip in an idea for symbolism?
Yeah.
But just wear the symbolism. Don't tell anybody. And then create this mystique around the symbolism. And then people start noticing the symbolism. And it becomes a symbol automatically because it was sprung on people in an unexpected way. Instead of telling you, well, this is what we should wear, then we just kind of slip it in there, and then the news media kind of picks up on it and it kind of takes off. What do you think? Isn't that a great idea?
What are you talking about?
I do think that a lot of these things are organic and they're spontaneous.
Yes.
And they catch on because they have symbolic power and people relate to it. And I think, the opponents of today's ruling regime don't often think that simply. They're immersed in policy detail. They're down in the weeds and they have a hard time seeing the forest for the trees. But when a symbol emerges, a powerful symbol emerges, it often is organic and very almost accidental. But I mentioned Gandhi before the break. Now that was a very conscious decision on his part to change his attire and to spin his own cloth and to use the spinning wheel as a very powerful symbol of Indian independence from Great Britain. So sometimes it can be conscious and planned. Sometimes it's very organic and spontaneous. But the symbol is one that just speaks powerfully to people. White hats, by the way. Think about what white hats have meant traditionally in Americans.
Cooler heads.
It means the good guys.
Yes.
The good guys wear the white hats, right?
Right.
I'm just jumping in here.
Yeah.
Thank you. I just have to ask, Mike, will you design this hat? Because I want to have a John and Gordy white hat. I'm already seeing it with a star.
That's
It's
it.
white with a white star. I mean, it's just simple. John and Gordy in the back. That's it.
All right.
Thank you for that
I like
merchandising
that.
suggestion. Okay, we'll workshop that.
Whether it's the white star on a white hat or the American flag, but in white.
Yeah.
With
There you go.
no red and blue.
Wow. There you go.
Just a white flag.
See,
and
this is what happens.
But the thing, and what I'm trying to do here is just get people to think about how much politics is emotional and not just intellectual, and the power of symbols in politics, and trying to encourage people to think outside the box rather than just accept this dismal reality that you have to be either red or blue. And that's the only choice you got. You're either on the blue side or you're on the red side. And if you're on the red side, you have all these assumptions about those who are on the blue side. You know who they are. You know what they think. You know how they act. And you no longer treat them as human beings who are complicated and who may have a great deal in common with you. And then if you're on the blue side, you similarly have all these preconceived notions about what the red side is all about, how they live, what they do, how they think, how they act. And again, you leave no room for understanding that they're also a neighbor and they're complicated and they've got struggles just like you do. And we've got to figure out a way how to act out of defiance in that sort of categorization.
Absolutely. I'm liking the white flag. That's well, surrender.
No. It would have stars and stripes on it.
Yeah.
Yes.
It just wouldn't be red
no
and-
colors.
It
I
would,
think that's a great.
it would
great
be
idea.
the American flag with
Yeah.
with the same number of stripes and with the and you can embroider this kind of thing so that one of the stripes stands out from the others. But what it says is we ain't gonna accept your division of us. We're not gonna accept that you have put us in these red camps and blue camps so that you can keep us at each other's throats and you can control us, because that's what all this is about, is control, economic control, social and political control of the masses. And that's what we have to declare independence from.
Yeah.
We're just about out of time here. Mike McCabe, you have any book signings coming up for Miracles Along County Q?
I've actually been asked to go to Evansville, which is where I spent the early part of my childhood for National Library Week in early April.
Okay.
So that's the one that's kind of nearby, but the Evansville Public Library wanted to have me come because Evansville was part of the inspiration. There are parts of the story in Miracles Along County Q that come from my very early childhood outside Evansville.
It's a great book. Check it out. You can find it wherever they sell books, right?
Yeah.
Okay. It's Mike McCabe.
And I'm asking all 8 listeners to remember that we came up with the idea first here on this show.
That's
a
right.
White flag.
Tim Slecker will be our guest tomorrow. Be talking about Linda McMahon, now approved as the Department of Education head.
Yeah.
Yep.
Wow.
And Stephanie Miller is coming up next. That's going to do it for John and Gordy. We hope you have a great day. Keep that umbrella handy.
Absolutely.
Not for the snow this afternoon.
John and Gordy
So long.
Show.